I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
Can you tell a story about almost getting arrested on your wedding night? I think you mentioned it on Drunk Friday. That is a classic story. I was actually going to tell it the other day. I don't know why. I think it was because Scarlett and Ethan Ralph are going to get married in Vegas, and then they're going to have Nick Ricotta is going to be the best man. Then they're going to have a threesome at the what do you call it? The not the wedding night, at the what do you call where they sleep on their wedding night? I think they call it like a something on their, I don't know. Anywho, so what happened was, this is a long story. This is almost 20 years ago. I married 20 years almost. Been together 20 years. Anywho, so let me do a short version. Anyway, so I was at the Venetian, and we didn't want to do a sit down thing because we didn't know how many people were coming, because we didn't really invite people formally, but I had a lot of cousins on the West Coast. So I just basically told my mom and my wife and whatever. I said, just like email people and get the word out that like when we're getting married, we're going to be at the Venetian, and we're not going to do formal invitations. But everyone, if you're getting this email, you're invited. So anyway, a lot of people showed up. So then we got a general idea of how many people were going to get there, I guess. And then we did like I don't know what it's called, but basically we had the reception. It was all in the same area. So we got married and then the reception was at this restaurant. And the restaurateur, he's Michael Keller or Joseph Keller, something Keller, famous chef Keller, because he was, I don't know if the restaurant's still there. Thomas Keller, yeah, is a celebrated American chef and restaurateur, best known for his 3 Michelin star, the French Laundry. So it was Thomas Keller restaurant at the Venetian. So we thought, what could go wrong? But we weren't gonna like sit down because that would have been like pricey, and we just thought, in Vegas, there's food everywhere, and it's just gonna be real casual. So anyway, they brought out food like on trays, like they had waiters bring out food on trays, which to me made sense. People, it's like no one's still looking for a sit down meal. It was at 4:00 in the afternoon or something like that. So, you eat, you drink, and alcohol was free. There was going to be an open bar. So just people are like a cocktail party. People are snacking on stuff. And, but an open bar, the open bar was the key, because if somebody gets drunk, then you go to the Venetian, the lobby of the Venetian, there's 50 restaurants. So if you're hungry, we're not in the middle of nowhere. So if you don't get enough to eat. Anyway, so they were doing this, bringing out some stuff, like fancy little fucking finger foods and whatnot. Then the photographer that we hired was leaving because I guess we only booked him for like an hour. I don't know. I didn't really talk to the photographer that much. So he's like, he said, before he left, he wanted to get a picture of us cutting the cake because we had like a big cake. So he got a picture of us taken because he had to leave. So I was like, I guess that makes sense. Get a picture of him taking a cake before he leaves, and because we were still gonna hang out. We had we did it outside. It was outside of Joseph Keller's main restaurant, but it was on the patio. It was nice. And it was in the end of May, so it was nice day out, sunny day in Vegas. It was hot, but not too hot. It doesn't get too hot yet. End of May. It's hot, but we were in the shade. It was all set up perfectly. So then, because we cut the cake, then I think they took the cake inside, and then they start serving cake. And I said to the manager, I said to the guy serving cake, I go, wait, you delivered all the food? All the food? Because they paid a lot for food. I said, you delivered all the food already? And then the guy said, let me talk to the manager. So the manager's like, no, well, we didn't serve all the food because you cut the cake. I'm like, we cut the cake for the photographer. I mean, how is this complicated? We cut the cake. So I guess I guess I had to tell him. I guess I had to tell the manager. So, but instead they assumed because we cut the cake that now we didn't want the food that I paid for. We didn't want the guests to eat that. So now they're serving cake. So I said, why is the cake being served? Oh, because you cut it. I'm like, no. So all the food has already been handed out or brought out. No, we thought you wanted. Oh, you thought? You didn't ask me. You thought. I said, you know, you guys should do a lot less of thinking. You should do a lot less thinking. You should ask the customer, do you want the cake brought out now? I would said, no, bring out all the food and then bring out the cake. So because I said, you know, I was yelling at the guy, and now they're bringing out cake, and now they're bringing out more food. I'm like, you people are fucking idiots. So then when at that point I was like, fuck this place. And then they handed me the bill, and they wanted me to sign the bill, even though the 20% was already baked in. It ended up costing me like $15,000 for this fucking meal. So the whatchamacallit was already baked in. The 20% gratuity. Or I said, yeah, I'm not paying a gratuity. I'm not signing this. So then I got in a fight with the manager or something inside, kind of away from everybody. But then Neil was there. Neil Brennan was there with his date, he's no longer with, of course, because Neil's Neil's half a Carl, if you ask me. So Neil was sitting at the bar. He saw me kind of fighting with management, and I guess I used some choice language. So they called the cops. They called the Venetian police. It might have been actually Vegas police. I'm not sure. I think it was local security. I think it was hotel security. And I'm like, sir, you can't curse. I said, so I can get a hooker? I can get a hooker and bring her to my room, which is illegal in Clark County. People don't know that. Prostitution's illegal in the county that Las Vegas is in. It's a kind of fine detail lost in the small print of the prostitution service. Anyway, so I said, I can get a hooker, but I'm not allowed to curse. You're not allowed to curse, and you can't chew gum. That's the one thing Vegas casinos care about. You'll never find any gum sold at anywhere in Vegas. So then they called the police, and then my brother-in-law, who's now dead, he's married to one of my sisters. My brother-in-law saw the cops there, and he came up, and he's like, Kevin, you all right? I said, I don't think so. Great story. Anyway, so never assume anything. I'll never assume anything ever again. So the manager, we got married on a Sunday, and then I think on Monday, and then we stayed in Vegas a couple days. So either on Monday or Tuesday, we were still at the hotel. So the manager calls our room, and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Brennan, we heard you had a problem." The manager of the hotel of the restaurant, Joseph Keller. Michael, is it Joseph Keller? I keep forgetting. Anyway, Joseph Keller. It wasn't, he didn't call me up, but the GM of the place called me, of the restaurant. He calls me and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Brennan, we heard you had a problem with your wedding reception." I go, "Yeah, big problem." I told him what happened. He goes, "Yeah, well," he goes, "yeah, they made a mistake. They should have asked you, of course. And we'd like to invite you down for a meal. You and your new bride on us." So I'm like, all right, I'll take a free meal. And then the service couldn't have been better, more efficient. That time it was just the two of us. At our wedding reception, absolute shit show. But when they gave us a free meal, and then I think the manager actually explained to me, he goes, "Yeah, well, I wasn't there that night." He goes, "But you know, things happen." He goes, "Oddly, I don't even know if he brought that up or somebody brought it, but I think maybe when we were booking it, he said that's a very busy weekend." He said that's one of the busiest weekends of the whole year for Vegas is Memorial Day weekend, because you know it's not really hot there, but it's it's not like going to some place on Memorial Day weekend. You're like, is the weather been good? The weather at the end of May in Vegas is going to be good. That's a guarantee. It's not gonna rain. It's not gonna be. It's just gonna be nice. It's gonna be hot and dry, and so basically, it makes sense that they're very busy Memorial Day weekend. And I said, yeah, well, maybe you should have been here. Maybe you should work if it's the busiest time of the year for the Vegas casinos. Maybe the GM should be at his restaurant, but you know, he's too busy. He's too busy.
Dirty, dirty Jersey. Dirty Jersey rat. Dirty Jersey rat. Dirty, dirty Jersey.
You broke my heart, Dirty Jersey. You broke my heart. Mainly by including Granny. That's my main issue.
You know what? You weren't. I know that your ass was not going to bring this up.